We are now advising Parliament to bring in a law which will make it mandatory for public disclosure, that this will destroy democracy. It's already, my lord, our democracy was almost a money game. It had become a money game. That this is promoting corruption. This instrument of anonymized donations is promoting corruption. That's one separate argument, and corruption has been held to be part of, or a corruption-free society is part of Article 21 rights of the citizens.
Another individual. Formulate it like this. Yes. Maybe your submission will be like this: that a party in power is in a much more vantage position to secure a greater amount of funding through the electoral bonds.
Yes.
Because of its ability to dole out a quid pro quo in the form of government contracts or government leases or licenses or concessions.
Or policy changes.
Or policy changes which will benefit that particular industry.
Or warding off excise issues, etc., etc. So there are all those
favors. All those favors.
Yes.
And by therefore concentrating the allocation of electoral bonds to the party in power, this is a very important source of perpetrating power, and therefore it is contrary to democracy.
Yes, in fact,
I think that could be the formulation.
Yes,
really.
Today, money is universally recognized by the Law Commission, by various bodies, including judgments of this court, that money power or the very unequal use of money power erodes the concept of free and fair elections or a level playing field in elections, etc. And what this electoral bond is doing is that it is further making that playing field uneven by, as I showed, my lord, almost all the electoral bonds, 99.9% have gone, either more than 50% have gone only to the ruling party at the center, and the remaining, almost all the remaining have gone to ruling parties in the states. Only one party, I am told, that is CPM, which is before your lordship, has consciously refused to take electoral bonds. So even though they are the ruling party in one state, they have not received any electoral bonds. But otherwise, almost all the electoral bonds have gone only to ruling parties. And therefore, electoral bonds cannot even be taken by smaller parties which receive less than 1% votes. And they cannot be taken by individual candidates. Therefore, what this instrument is doing is, by privileging the ruling parties, because it's an easy way of getting your policies changed, your decisions changed, various other favors from the ruling parties. Obviously, favors can only be given by the ruling party, the party which is in control of the government. Therefore, it is further skewing the level playing field in elections. It was already skewed. But instead of setting that right, in fact, my lord, there should have been a limit on the expenditure of political parties. Instead of doing those things, or saying that political parties and candidates should only take money and spend money through banking channels, is doing exactly the opposite with electoral bonds. It's allowing, in fact, my lord, there are a large number of companies which do not have so much black money. They have only white money.
In the erstwhile regime, prior to the electoral bonds, a corporate entity could make contributions as well.
Yes.
It was 7.5% of your profits.
Yes, but they had to disclose.
That's right. That's what I was coming to. The difference there was that you had a duty to disclose, so that by your disclosure, there can be a public scrutiny into whether this is really a quid pro quo for any benefits that you have received in terms of government contracts, licenses, policies, concessions.
So there are two separate arguments resting on this, my lord. One is that this is promoting corruption. This instrument of anonymized donations is promoting corruption. That's one separate argument, and corruption has been held to be part of, or a corruption-free society is part of Article 21 rights of the citizens. So this is one argument. The other argument is that it is actually eroding democracy itself. because it is skewing the level playing field between ruling parties and opposition parties on the one hand, and between parties and candidates on the other hand. Now, because nobody will come to know as to who has donated, whether you have received some quid pro quo, etc., therefore, it is promoting corruption, it is privileging. And if your lordship will see that now virtually all the donations or most of the donations are coming by way of electoral bonds. So therefore, and the bulk is going to the ruling party.
And in the case of a company,
Yeah.
now even the shareholders will not be told
Yes.
who you are contributing to.
Correct.
The shareholders will only be given
Yes.
the net result.
Correct.
That we have contributed as a company 250 crores this year.
Correct.
Shareholders now have no access to who you have contributed that amount to.
That's why in that Justice Chagla's judgment, that Tata judgment, they said that yes, we are allowing you to change your memorandum because you are permitted, but you will have to advertise in the newspapers saying where and to whom you have donated. And they said that we are doing it because they have come to us with permission to amend the memorandum, but other companies may have already this provision in their memorandum or in their articles that they can donate to political parties. And therefore, at the end, they have cautioned that we are now advising Parliament to bring in a law which will make it mandatory for public disclosure. Of course, even earlier in the regime, citizens could find out who has donated to whom, because even when companies donated to particular parties, they were still obliged to maintain accounts and disclose their accounts in the company website. But ordinary citizen is not expected to be able to go through all the websites of all these 23 lakh companies to find out who has donated to whom, etc. Therefore, they said in that judgment that we are placing this condition upon you that you disclose it by way of advertisement to the public. And they said that because this requirement is not there for other companies who may already have political donations in their articles of association, therefore we are now advising Parliament to bring in a law to make this disclosure compulsory. Now, instead of doing that, we have gone exactly in the opposite direction. That we have now anonymized to the public even that possibility of coming to know from the returns of these companies who has donated and to whom, because that has been removed. So therefore, my lord, my submission is that this will destroy democracy. It's already, my lord, our democracy was almost a money game. It had become a money game.